Hello, everybody, and welcome to my first ever Ask the Coach Facebook Live session. I am so excited you're here, and I've received a couple of questions in my DMs that I'm going to take the time to answer for you today. And if you have any questions while I'm live, please drop them in the comments. Let me know, and I will be sure to answer them. And if you're watching the replay and you have questions, feel free to share them here as well. And the next time I do an Ask the Coach Facebook Live, I will be sure to answer them for you. So let's get into it. The first question that I got was, how do you stay positive 100% of the time? And the truth of the matter is, you don't. Life is always going to have ups and downs. There's always going to be the positive and the negative. We're always going to go through experiences. And in that, we are going to have an ebb and flow of how we are feeling. Rather than staying and believing that you need to stay in a state of constant 100% positivity, the power is actually in recognizing when you are in a state that is less positive and being able to bring yourself back to that state. How quickly can you return to the state of being more positive and focusing on the things that you want in your life rather than staying stuck in those feelings of negative emotions and really being hard on yourself and getting down on yourself because of having that human experience and feeling some negative feelings. So for me, a practice that I have regularly in order for me to maintain a more positive state or to get back to that state in an instant is to practice gratitude, to take a moment, pause, reflect, take a breath, and recognize all of the gifts and the blessings in my life. Someday that's clean drinking water. Very often that's the fact that I live in a home that I'm so grateful and I love. I can just look out my window and see these magnificent views. And for me, being able to practice that state of gratitude and redirect my thoughts to all of the things that are going well in my life enables me to be able to return back to that positive state and maintain that consistency without getting too deep in my thoughts of feeling negative. Hello, Allison. Thank you for joining. And the next question that I got, and if you have any questions, then just drop them in the comments. And I've got a couple that were sent to me by DM, and I will get to the other ones also. So be sure to drop some comments or questions. Great to see you this morning. So the next question that I got is, how do you get in a mindset of being positive? I have multiple practices. One of them, I've conditioned myself. I have done the exercises, done the reps of maintaining a positive mindset for a very long time. I've done it through listening to positive audiobooks. I've done it through listening and connecting to, I've got Spotify playlists, but if you're interested, let me know in the comments and I can share that with you, how I've conditioned myself to think positively. I also do daily affirmations and incantations. I'm very constantly aware of the things that I'm saying to myself. And when I recognize that I'm in a rabbit hole, I do what I can to be like, oh, that's not what we want to focus on. Let's redirect to something a little bit more inspiring, more empowering. Who do we really want to be? And let's play those thoughts in our mind. And that is going to help to get back into a state of being positive. Another way is to reframe challenges. So instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? Or what is going on? Or this is such a bad day. Ask yourself, how can I learn from this? Or what am I to learn from this? Or I don't believe necessarily in having bad days. I think we have moments. There are moments that there is a thing, whether it's an external environmental factor or whether it's something within ourselves that causes us to go into this state. And the quicker we can reframe that moment and get back to a place of being and looking at the positive side of things, then the quicker we are going to be able to maintain and re-engage ourselves in that positive feeling. Another question that I got is, how do I build up self-confidence? Self-confidence and confidence itself is a habit. It's a muscle, just like any other muscle. You build it by practicing it regularly. Hey, Darcy, thanks for joining. Self-confidence can be built in a few ways. It can be built by celebrating your wins, recognizing the things that are going right in your life, and focusing and taking a moment to appreciate those. That, again, goes back to the practice of gratitude. Another way to build self-confidence is to take time and reflect on times that you have felt the most confident in your own experiences and really connect with who you were in that place and how you were showing up, and being able to re-engage that experience and connect to that feeling at any point in time without actually having to be in that space. Have compassion. When we are compassionate and when we recognize that we're going to go through things and we allow ourselves to do that and we treat ourselves like our own best friend, sometimes we speak worse to ourselves than we would to any other person in the world. So when we recognize that, then we are able to reframe that, connect with ourselves, and feel more positively with how we are showing up in the world. And you're also able to, or another thing that I like to practice to build up self-confidence is recognizing small wins and setting achievable goals. I know, especially in the personal development space, there's this big idea of having big, hairy, audacious goals. And that is a really great thing to have as a target to move towards. In order to get to that, we need to look at what's the next best thing that I can do. And in doing that and setting the targets to be a little bit slower. So as an example, say you wanted to work out and you haven't done it in a decade. I would not suggest setting the goal as I'm going to go 7 days a week for 3 hours a day, even if 10 years ago that's what you used to do. Rather than setting the bar that high, what if you just start by going for a couple of walks a week? What if you just start by putting your shoes on? There's a book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Or Clearly, I think it's Clear. I could be wrong. But in that book, he talks about setting your environment up to be conducive to the habits that you want to develop. And with that, when we set ourselves up for that and we set small, actionable, achievable goals that will help us get to our bigger goal, each time we do something, each time we do a rep, we have more confidence. And every time we build more confidence and we keep a promise to ourselves of achieving the goal of maybe it's going for 3 walks a week, then we are developing more confidence and trust in ourselves and in our ability to lead ourselves to the life that we desire. So the next question that I got is, how can I raise my energy? Energy is a mix of physical, mental, and emotional vitality. And there's lots of different ways that we can increase the energy that we have. One of them that is very often not necessarily promoted enough is actually getting enough sleep, recognizing how much rest your body needs, recognizing and giving yourself the time and space to be able to get it and get quality sleep. It's not just about how long you spent doing the thing. Very often we need to have quality effort or put effort into making it a quality sleep. So I know for me, in order for me to get quality sleep, I use a sleeping mask. I have audios that I listen to for the entire night that keeps me in a deep sleep state. I use my Fitbit to track how long I've slept and how well I've slept. I will also, if I'm having a day that I'm mentally feeling a little bit more chatter or I'm feeling a little bit more drained, I will take 20 minutes and do a power nap. Again, I have guided audios that help me get into that state very quickly, so it is effective and efficient. Another thing, and it goes along with taking kind of like power naps and things like that, is taking breaks mentally. Sometimes that for me, like I get a little bit of fatigue, so it can just be like looking up from my computer and looking at the wall across from me for 30 seconds so that my eyes stop burning, because, you know, when you're on a computer for many hours a day, that can definitely be a reality. Also, taking time and investing and engaging in activities that bring you joy. For me, that's become working out. That's also going out dancing. That can be just putting on music in my living room and taking 5 minutes to like prance around and sing a song and do like a personal karaoke. Whatever that is for you to connect to yourself and to mentally move your body is going to help you increase your energy so that you're vibrating at a higher level. And who doesn't want to vibrate higher? I know I do. The other thing that you can do is for emotional increasing in energy is connect with people that uplift you and focus on the things that you're passionate about. There's ideas like power moves that we can do. So I know one of them is the Wonder Woman or the Superwoman stance, which is like standing with your hands on your hips and kind of, you know, standing with this tall composure, posture, the two of them, the three of them, but standing tall and holding that confident position, and you can feel the energy start to radiate through your body. And as you stand there longer and you practice that experience, your energy is going to continue to increase. So that's another really great tip for doing that. And then the last question that I got, how do you manage all of the uncertainty? That is a really great question. Thank you. For me, it is a practice of focusing on the things that I am looking to achieve, and also remembering the things that I know that I've already done and I have confidently been able to accomplish. So part of that is reflecting on and being in that state of gratitude and reflecting on all of the ways that you've already achieved what you're looking for. Another thing for me with uncertainty is really being in the present moment. Uncertainty can often be a state of thinking about the what ifs, or thinking about the things that you wish were to happen, or sometimes there's that overwhelm with big transitions in life and not really knowing how everything is going to play out or what we're going to be doing. So one way to manage that is to remain in a present state and to really focus on taking the time to connect with ourselves and to practice the confidence, so practice self-confidence with things that we've already achieved, so that when we're in those moments of uncertainty, we know, I've got this. Like, I've got this. It's okay. I've been competent and capable in similar areas, or even if it's totally different, recognizing your strength and your ability to be able to move towards the target that you are setting and what you are looking to accomplish is going to help you go from that state of uncertainty to, and not necessarily fully move through it, but be able to have confidence in your ability to handle and to be able to respond. We have a responsibility to respond to situations in the way that is going to best serve us. I love the breakdown of the word responsibility, our ability to respond. Very often we're in a reactive state, and when we're managing uncertainty and we're reactive, that can sometimes do the opposite of serving where we're moving towards. However, when we show up and we take the moment to pause and we take the time to truly recognize how we want to respond to a situation, how we want to show up to a situation, be present within ourselves, then we have that ability to move through the uncertainty with a knowing, an inner knowing and an inner standing that it is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Even the moments of challenge and the moments of unexpected experiences that are maybe in that moment not feeling like they're for our highest and greatest good, what we can remember at that time is that as we move through that, we can reflect back, and hindsight's always 20/20. It's going to give us the ability to see, in that moment of transition, or at that point in time, I was really able to continue to move forward with my vision, knowing that the better side, or the what I'm looking for, is going to come out on the outside and on the other side. And good morning, John. Thank you for joining us. And Matthias, grateful to see you. Anthony, thank you everybody for joining. But when we're in that space of uncertainty, when we reflect and remember the things that we have confidence and knowing in and that we've already accomplished, and we take that time, and we also know that whatever is happening is happening for our highest and best self and good, then we're able to kind of separate self from the experience, almost like being an observer of what's happening in our life, and not dwell or be stuck in the uncertainty, but actually be able to take actions and move forward through it. And every time we do that, then we are actually building that muscle and reminding ourselves of what we are capable and competent and able to achieve. So it's really about managing state while in that place of uncertainty, and recognizing how we've already accomplished so many things in our lives, and then being able to live with the uncertainty while knowing that where we are going and what we are looking to achieve is on the other side of taking the next best step. We don't need to have the whole picture, and even if we have the whole picture, we don't need to know all of the steps. But if we continue to take the next best step to achieve that, then that's going to help us move through that uncertainty into a state or a space of inner knowing and confidence in the decisions and the actions and the outcomes that we're looking to achieve. I hope that helps answer that question for you. If not, let me know and I will think of another example or another way to share about that. And then the next question that I had, so how do you bounce back from low points and not lose motivation? So for me, one of the biggest things is start by giving yourself grace. We all have those moments. We all have low points. That is the human experience. It's not about not having them and not feeling them. It's about the fact that we don't sit there and we don't dwell in it. We are actually moving forward. Hey, Kathy, thanks for joining this morning. A way that we can bounce back from those low points is reflect on why we are doing what we are looking to accomplish. So what is the deeper reason and the deeper meaning behind your goals? Another thing which kind of also is part of, and a lot of these pieces, these steps build on each other, is breaking tasks into smaller steps to help build momentum. So as we're doing smaller things that we know that we can accomplish, then we build that confidence muscle and we build our knowing in ourselves that we are able to achieve that which it is that we are looking for. And each time we do one thing that gets us closer to that outcome or gets us closer to and remembering who we are and who we are becoming, it'll help pull us out of that state. Another thing is to break your physical state. So if you're sitting there, and I know I've had days that I'm like laying on the couch and just watching shows all day and I'm like, oh my God. And as the day goes on, my energy gets lower and lower and I feel myself kind of depleting. The greatest way that I can change that is clap my hands, get my ass up, turn on some music, jump on my rebounder, go on the treadmill, go to the gym, just step out on the balcony and get fresh air, especially when it's like, minus any degrees out. It's like, oh, that is refreshing. And that is a state change and an immediate way to get from that feeling of low, depleting, to in a degree depressing energy and move through that into a state of movement. Emotion is energy in motion. And when we are sitting and we are stagnant and we are wallowing and we are feeling low and we are not moving, we haven't moved in days, weeks, months, years, then that is going to the compound effect of even not moving or not doing the things that we know we should be doing is going to take you further into that state of low points. Whereas when we continue to practice the things that excite and energize and engage and move us forward, continuing to practice those and build those muscles, do those reps of those practices, then we are going to move more deeply into the state of being energized and moving through the low points into a state of being motivated. We don't stay motivated 100% of the time. That is the reality of the human experience. But the way and the speed in which we can move back from a low energy state or a no energy state or a demotivated state and snap back to who it is we want to become and reconnect with that being and reconnect with that energy, then the quicker and the more likely we are going to be to achieve that which it is that we want. And then the other question that I got, which I love this one, is how do you push through failure and setbacks? One of the greatest ways is that I have found personally is to actually reframe failures and see it more as a feedback, see it more as a opportunity to something to learn from and to be able to reframe it to something that is a more positive experience is going to help kind of move through that and not stay stuck in the wallowing or self-deprecating thoughts of not feeling good enough or not feeling accomplished or not doing the things that we know we should be doing. So the faster and the more quickly we're able to reframe and see the feedback in that experience, then the greater the gift we're going to get from it, and the more quickly we're going to move back into action. Another thing, and I've kind of mentioned this a few times, focus on the next best step. So don't dwell on the entire journey. I know that the tree is big. I know that the vision is large. I know that there's a lot of things to do to get to that outcome. But in order to achieve it, we need to just focus on what the next best step is that we can do. Just keep moving forward, keep on going down the path, and take the next step that is available to us that we know is going to keep us on the journey that we are traveling on. Celebrate. We do not celebrate ourselves enough. One of the greatest things that we can do is celebrate our wins. And even if they're small, if you have a goal to have more energy and you had a day that you ate super clean or super well, celebrate that shit. If you had a conversation with somebody and they were sharing their bereavements and a whole bunch of stuff that they were going through, and you were able to be there for them and share that space with them, but not put yourself into that energetic state, you're able to also maintain your own energetic state and walk away from that and carry on your day without carrying the weight of their issues or their worries or their problems, then celebrate that. Celebrate when you do the next best step, whatever that next step is that you are looking to do or that is getting you closer to the goal. I celebrate sometimes when I just show up at the gym. This morning, I didn't go to the gym, but I got on my walking pad, and I know I'm doing an event today that's going to have me dancing and moving throughout the entire day. And it was so important to me to still get that in. I celebrated the fact that I got my 20-minute walk in on the walking pad as I was trying to do some other things before I got to come on to here. And then the other thing that I would suggest when you're kind of going through something is to learn and adapt. Reflect on the experience, reflect on what we've been through, reflect on what had happened, and take the time to find out what worked, what didn't work, what is next. I love to journal, so sit down if you're the journaling type. Some people might want to do an audio recording and go through some of their thoughts and just get out of their headspace, and it's almost like a personal therapy session to just kind of ramble and get out all of the things and go through, okay, so this happened and I got this thing done and this thing was what worked with it, and oh, that was not a good move, and oh, why did you do that part? But oh, that could help you learn in the next time. So kind of taking that time and that space to reflect and see what you're able to get from that journey is going to help you to continue to move forward. See your setbacks or your failures as more as successes or as stepping stones into that next space, and really help you to continue to level up on the journey that you're on. So I want to thank everybody that joined me today. I appreciate you all. It was so great to see you. I will be doing another Ask the Coach. So if you're seeing the replay, please comment down below. If you do have any other questions, I'll be sure to catch them in my next live. And until the next time, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.